Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. After some of the recent meta updates that we've seen in Warzone, things have changed around a bit for the assault rifle category. We're in a very interesting place right now that I want to sort of point out throughout the video, but overall today, I wanted to break down the top 5 best assault rifle loadouts you want to be using right now. So as we get into the setups and into the details, if you enjoy the video or if you find it helpful at all, let me know by dropping a like on it. It's always really appreciated. And if you're new here, you want to guarantee you're up to date with absolutely everything going on in COD, whether it's news, updates, meta breakdowns, you name it, it's going to be right here on a daily basis. So feel free to hit that subscribe button and turn on those post notifications. So starting off first here at number 5, I've actually got the TAC-56, a weapon that we really haven't talked about in some time, right? But the way that the assault rifle meta in specific is working out right now is that it's really valuing accuracy. Are you going to be more accurate with rifle A, rifle B, or rifle C? And whatever the answer is probably going to be your true meta. So even though we have my definitive top 5 here today, there's a lot of honorable mentions that, didn't quite make it on the list for my opinion, but statistically speaking, accuracy right now, whatever rifle you're the most comfortable with is probably going to be the best choice. And the TAC-56 is a super low recoil, very easy rifle, decent damage, but that realistic TTK with accuracy factored in is fantastic. One thing I love about this setup is the iron sights. They're so clean, so I don't even have to use an optic here. We can go all in on control and range optimization. So combat rear grip straight up for better control, making it easier to use. The 40 round extended mag or the 60 round extended mag is going to work fine. There's no real wrong answer here. Because I don't use a barrel or an optic or anything, I do have a free attachment spot to throw in high velocity for some of those longer range fights, 60, 70, 80 meters. It's nice to have on there when you can have it. Not necessary by any means though. Ripper under barrel, you're going to see pretty much on every single build here today, offering better stabilization and stability, making this recoil pattern a lot more predictable. Then lastly, I go for the Harbinger suppressor. It's a heavier one, so it gives you a little bit of control on top of the standard velocity and range that most of the suppressors do offer as is. So this thing is reliable, it's consistent, and it's nice to finally have this back in the competitive meta since it's been MIA for so long. Another great choice, M4. Old reliable as we call it here on the channel. Good on day one, good now. And that's the cycle every single year for COD. The M4 is always good. It's been a bit of a sleeper weapon, maybe a little bit underrated throughout the year, but again, now that we're back in this stage where accuracy is so important, this is a very easy weapon to use. The pattern is very predictable, and especially in like the mid-range, this thing really thrives, but even over some longer ranges, if you're accurate with it, it can be very, very competitive as well. So a super versatile rifle in and of itself. Initially here, I got the AMOB V4, my go-to optic, as I'm sure you guys know if you're familiar with the meta videos, but if there's one that you prefer more, that you are more comfortable with, always go for comfortability first when it comes to that kind of stuff. 60 round extended mag here as well. If you want to drop down to 45, that's sufficient too. High velocity once more, but in this case, you could absolutely swap out for a barrel. High tower 20 would be my recommendation there for the better velocity, control, and range. I kind of like the snappiness of this build though, makes it a little bit more aggressive for the mid range. Then you still got the high velo for long range, so it's consistent. So that's more of a preference thing there for sure. Ripper under barrel, yet again, same deal as before, and same deal with the Harbinger suppressor in this case as well. So a pretty standard rifle setup, but it gets the job done. And like I said, nice to see that it's back up towards the top of the competition. Now at number 3 here, we've got my personal favorite rifle at the moment, the Geist. Ever since this thing was added in with season 6, this has been my #1 go-to primary really for long range on a lot of my setups because it is incredibly easy to use yet again, which is always nice to see, but it's still consistent with damage, even though it was nerfed a little bit here slightly. Again, accuracy, 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 that's what you got to focus on, and I'm very comfortable with this build, and it's very, very low recoil as well. So once more, we got AMOB V4 here. 45 round extended mag is the max here, but this fire rate's not crazy fast, so that's totally fine there. Ripper under barrel, pretty standard, but then I focus on a bit more control with the barrel and muzzle. I go for the bridle heavy for control, range, and velocity, so making it a little bit easier to use, also extending its efficiency in the long range. And then I go for the bore 490 compensator, which mainly focuses on horizontal control. It does offer some vertical at the same time though, and this really makes the pattern incredibly predictable, so you're gonna be able to shoot straight with this thing over a lot of ranges. Something that I really enjoy about this setup in particular is its consistency at 20, 40, 60, 80 meters. Love the feel of this thing. Definitely a top tier choice for rifles right now. Hey everyone, real quick, just wanted to give a shout out to my friends over at Control Freak. Funny enough, Control Freak was actually the very first partner I ever had on my channel many years ago, and genuinely all this time later, I'm using control freaks every single day. These truly are one of the things that I cannot play without anymore. I'm so used to having the longer sticks on my controllers, but more importantly, the better grip as well. They offer various different designs for what you prefer in terms of your thumbstick style, whether it's domed, concave, mid-rise, high-rise, low-rise. They got plenty of different options. My current loadout for my control freaks consists of one Vortex control freak and then one of the new Destiny 2 Lightfall control freaks. Love the feel of these. If you ever want to get a pair for yourself, throw in code Immortal at checkout. You'll get yourself a nice little discount. Now at number 2, I've actually got the Razorback, and this is again a very versatile rifle. You could use this based around sniper support. You could use this as an overall versatile setup like I've got here. You could focus all in on the long range control and velocity and range if you wanted to. A lot of ways to build this thing. It's really good in all of them. It's a very versatile, very fun rifle for all types of engagements. This setup here, according to True Game Data's MetaGen tool, is the most predictable when it comes to recoil in the game. It's basically a straight vertical pattern. Again, I got AMOD V4 standard there. You definitely want to run 60 on here. That fire rate is a lot faster than some other guns, so definitely you want to have that on there. You don't want to be reloading in the middle of a fight. That'd be super inconvenient. Again, I like high velocity here because I don't feel like barrels are super necessary, but if you wanted to run, you know, the TAC 2L for the better range and velocity, if you wanted to run tanker for better control, there are some good options there for sure. I don't feel like they're totally necessary though. Proto underbarrel is specific to this. It gives you better stabilization and horizontal control, making this pattern super predictable. And then you stack Komodo heavy on top of it, even more horizontal control, straight vertical. Like I said, so easy to control this thing, even over some pretty extreme distances. It's very viable, which is not something you get out of every gun. There's a little bit more work required elsewhere. This one is super straightforward. And then lastly here, I've got the Avancer at number 1, mainly because of its versatility everywhere. On paper, you'd look at this thing and say, it's clearly the best long range rifle. Truly, I don't feel like this is a rifle that's meant for 70, 80, 90 meters because the control is a little bit more noticeable here. The recoil rather is more noticeable here. There's more effort required to control it well, but if you're a good player over long range, it's viable. But in the mid range, this thing is by far and away the best rifle. It's probably the most versatile one in the game. Fantastic TTK, and it's a lot more manageable up close and in the mid range as well. So this setup here is very versatile, and I like that a lot about it. We got the AMOD V4 yet again, 60 round mag, once more a slightly faster fire rate here, so this is actually pretty clutch. Ripper underbarrel and Harbinger suppressor, no real surprises there. And then I go for the FR 435 barrel. This is just straight up better control and velocity. Now, if you wanted to focus more on long range, you could use the long bore, let's say, for the better range and velocity. Wouldn't help as much with control, and in that case, I'd maybe switch out Harbinger for a bore 490 or something like that. So you could adjust this in various ways to focus more on control and efficiency in the long range, or more range in general. And that's the beauty of this. That's why I think it's the best gun, because there's so many different builds for it, and all of them work really well in one way or another. Now, like I said, the thing is with this meta, if you are a huge Hemlock fan and you want to use that because you're the most accurate with the Hemlock, it could probably make its way up on this list. Same deal with the other rifles, the Lockman 5.56 or various other options here. Accuracy is the answer at the end of the day. So if you're more accurate with, let's say, the TAC 56 than you are the Avancer in long range, you might flip-flop those. And that's what's awesome about this rifle meta right now, is there's no definitive number 1 answer. Even though these, in my opinion, are 5 of the most efficient, it's really coming down to your style of play. And that being said, that is going to wrap things up. If you enjoyed the video, do me a favor, drop a like on it. And if you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button on your way out so you can always guarantee you're up to date with Warzone and MW3. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you later. Peace out.